Did you know that the crew's survival depends on their hunger? The U.S. Navy's nuclear submarines can continually produce air and water from saltwater, but it cannot sustain life for a very long time. More supplies frequently need to be transported by submarine in light of this. Welcome back to another exciting video. Today's video is about how U.S. Navy nuclear submarines source food underwater. Before we start the video, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. We recently had the good fortune to win a lottery chance that enabled us to tour the kitchen and freezer of a $3 billion nuclear submarine and learn firsthand how food is prepared and stored. We'll tour a $3 billion nuclear submarine kitchen in our video today. The crew must order meals based on where they will be, which is usually challenging because the chef must alter his menu. What are the sailors eating above the Navy submarine? Let's think far in advance. The submarine crew reportedly complains loudly about the food, which puts further pressure on the kitchen staff to serve mouth-watering meals. The life of a U.S. Navy submariner is difficult. At the same time, spending months in a steel tube traversing icy seas. Explosives, combustible materials, and possibly nuclear weapons are everywhere around the sailors. Even in times of peace, they are prone to terrible accidents, and in a war, they risk being hunted down and destroyed by enemy ships and helicopters. However, they are reputed to eat well. If you don't believe me, look at this out-of-print book on feeding submarine men. The 2,000 books on submarine cuisine were reportedly ordered by the Submarine Research Center at the U.S. Naval Submarine Installation in Bangor, Washington. It offers fascinating observations about the tasks of a cook aboard a submarine, including how food is loaded, stored, and prepared and the kinds of meals submarine crew members would enjoy. It provides details of life on submarines during World War II. The book contains anecdotes about submarines from when they were known as the USS Hardhead, USS Bluegill, and USS Blenny, among other fish-related names. The book also mentions that sailors are given 3 meals a day on a modern American submarine deployment, which may last for weeks or even months without refueling. The ubiquitous food distributor Cisco provided food for the submarines of the Pacific Fleet, while Kings Bay provided food for the submarines on the East Coast. Food is manually dropped into quick assault submarines in the harbor, one box of groceries at a time, about ballistic missile submarines. By the entrance of the escape trunk, the food is dropped by crane and aluminum modules measuring 6 by 6 by 5 feet. Recipes for common breakfast dishes like creamed eggs, which, let's face it, sound like they could be better, are also included in the book. Additionally, it has recipes for Maryland-style fried chicken, ginger pot roast, now we're going somewhere, and corned beef and cabbage. Navy bean soup is naturally included in the collection of recipes, and the list is completed by baked apples and cherry pie for dessert. The pressure to make meals, clean up after themselves, keep to a schedule, and remain under a monthly food budget is constant for submarine cooks, who hold one of the more customer-focused professions on a U.S. Navy submarine. It's important to keep the dining area tidy. While meals are not served, the staff holds training courses in the dining area. Because submarines are built to operate in silence, and that subs rarely share information about daily life on board, the quiet service is the nickname for the Navy's submarine unit. Although it isn't exactly top-secret information, submarine cuisine provides an insight into the daily life of American submariners through their food. You could envision a little, silent, black craft silently gliding across the water when you imagine a submarine. However, did you know submarines can stay underwater for extended periods? What is their method? The procedure for resupplying nuclear submarines at sea is a solution component. You'll observe how every requirement is met while the submarine is submerged in the water, from refueling to replenishing the pantry. So relax and take this insider's view of one of the most fascinating parts of contemporary naval warfare. The American ballistic missile submarines can stay submerged and hidden from curious eyes for up to 3 months. But what happens when one of these boats needs to be restocked, as it is at sea? These covert war machines can access several resupply options, but the U.S. Navy has only recently made one public. These options included miniature drones. I want to use huge cargo aircraft. These comments were given this week at the annual conference that the Navy Submarine League was hosting, according to Rear Admiral Blake Converse, commander of Submarine Force Pacific. Although we don't need to send them gasoline, we occasionally bring them food and supplies to keep them afloat. Converse claimed that our submarines are dependable and capable of transporting a sizable amount of food. But this increases the distance the submarines can go, and it greatly improves the ability of the BN troops to carry out their tasks. It is a member of the Nuclear Triad's maritime component for the U.S. The United States Navy currently operates the Ohio class of ballistic missile submarines, consisting of 14. The submarines work alongside the Triad's aerial leg, which comprises bombers like the B-52 and B-2, and the land-based leg, which is formed of intercontinental ballistic missiles. The nuclear triads that Russia and China each possess and their strategies are fairly similar. They make up the nuclear triad as a whole. Long stretches of time at sea are necessary for the submarines. This contributes to the effectiveness of the American nuclear deterrent stationed at sea, but they can only store enough food on board for about 90 days at a time. When these submarines are in the open sea, they occasionally need to be resupplied. These submarines would play a crucial role in posturing if a major conflict broke out with a close ally and nuclear-capable foe like China, preventing China from using the nuclear doctrine of mutually assured destruction, also known as MAD, to launch a nuclear attack against the United States. The fundamental concept of AWFUL is deceptively simple. The nuclear triad of the United States guarantees that a nuclear attack can destroy none of its 3 nuclear weapon delivery systems because of the Mutual Aid Pact, which effectively stipulates that if we go, you go with us. The United States ballistic missile submarines are frequently called boomers, which is not very funny. The U.S. Navy tested for different flying platforms to see which one was the most efficient for supplying these submarines while they were at sea. Initially, a member of the United States Navy operated a quadrotor drone that could transport equipment or small items to a surfaced submarine. A U.S. Navy MH-60 Seahawk arrived with a larger payload, followed by an American Marine Corps MV-22B Osprey with another supply load. Last but not least, a United States Air Force C-17 Globemaster dropped another package from the sky as it flew overhead, whether it be a resupply of food or other logistics, or medical capabilities that they need to continue on their mission, or whether it be a small part delivered by a UAV keeps the submarine fully operational because it fixes their atmospheric control systems or weapon systems. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.